All right, Matteo from Homesteading Italian. Today I have the pleasure of traveling down 15 minutes to the town of Hopewell, New Jersey, and I'm with my, God, I think it's almost lifetime friend. We
grew close.
We grew up in the same town. Rob Flory. Rob has been growing corn for 40 years, I think you told me.
Yeah, the first time I grew corn was on the Rutgers experimental farm.
At Cook College?
At Cook College. Planted corn with Joseph Lima, the agriculture teacher at the Youth Polytechnic in Kenya where I worked.
That's right. You did a stint as a Peace Corps.
Yeah, then came back here, and at Howe Farm, I've been growing corn ever since, and ever since I retired.
That's amazing. So Rob today is going to take us through a series of steps in producing Hominy, which, to be honest with you, I'd heard about it, but I really never knew what it was until we went to this amazing gathering called Whiskey Wednesday, and Rob was kind enough to bring some chili that he had hominy in it, and I was like, what is this? It's amazing. So I strong-armed him into giving us a demo. So looking forward to it, and thanks for doing this for us.
It's Hominy in Hopewell. First, I want to give a shout out to my friends at Native Roots Farm Foundation, the original corn farmers of our area. This shirt says farms. Native Roots Farm Foundation do a great work in indigenous food sovereignty work. So we're working with corn today. We're going to make hominy, which is a process of boiling the corn in an alkaline solution to get the hulls off. Some people call it hulling corn. Some people call it nixtamalization. We're making nixtamal, which is like, I think that's an Aztec word for corn processed in this manner. So I'm going to use some pickling lime. Mrs. Wage's pickling lime, also known as calcium hydroxide. Food grade stuff here. Maya people use calcium oxide mined right out of the earth. Eastern woodland indigenous people use wood ash. I've done that just for fun. But we're going to put 2 teaspoons of the pickling lime into 3/4 of a gallon of boiling water. And we're going to get that all dissolved with a whisk. If you want to see a really cool video about this, check out Sean Sherman, the Sioux chef. That's Sioux like the tribe. He does it fully indigenously. Now I'm going to take corn. That's going to go in my colander. I'm going to put the corn in the colander. This is, what variety is this, Matt?
Bloody Butcher.
Bloody Butcher corn from Farmer Matt Wilkinson's place. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to the color when we put it in the solution. I don't even know. Just going to rinse to get any dust off or anything like that. And that goes into the boiling solution. We're going to bring that to a boil and boil it for an hour. Looks like the color is hanging in. My white corn turns a little bit more yellow in this process. My white corn. The white corn I grow, Puem corn, which is an original corn of Lenape people, traveled the Trail of Tears out to Oklahoma, went through the USDA seed storage system, got reintroduced to people like me by True Love Seeds in Pennsylvania. And this is going to be my 5th year of growing that, my 40th year of growing corn in general. All right, so just like the cooking shows, I've got a batch that I started this morning at 5:00 a.m. This is my white corn, and it's been on warm in this crock pot ever since then. It's now like 1:00. So you can see when I stir here, the kernels have puffed up really big, and there's just a lot of stuff floating around in the water. I'm gonna give this a good rinse, and then I'm gonna work it with my hands to get any pieces of hull off of the kernels. Woohoo, that's hot. So I'm rinsing. You can see there's like little bits of hull. I'm gonna dump that back in. Get some new water. All right, so I'm just gonna like massage this. Just keeping it all moving around so I get it all of them. You don't have to get every last little bit of hull off. At least that's my lazy 21st century farmer take. Your mileage may vary. All right, going to change the water and do that again. I've heard some of my Lenape friends use the term ashing corn for this process because they use wood ash to accomplish the transformation. So now the water is starting to come a little bit more clear. And sometimes these are probably going to be pretty al dente since we're on the Italian channel here. Not bad. I might just cook these more just to cook them and soften them up more if I was going to make corn soup. These would be good now for milling into masa to make tortillas or tamales or something like that. But for the corn soup, I want just that right, that certain texture. Now my Maya neighbors, or neighbors with Maya roots, they make all kinds of great stuff with this. There's a great soup called pozole. Comes in pozole verde, green with tomatillos. Pozole rojo. So here's the finished hominy, nishtamal, ready to make something with.
I'm really captivated by how the different varieties of corn have different reactions. As yours started out yellow, right?
White.
White. Okay, and then the Bloody Butcher was red, but now what would you call that? Purple?
Almost black.
Yeah, black.
So purple it's black.
So what are the different uses of this hominy?
So there's so many things. It's great, when we think about corn in North America here, we think about some yellow thing that you feed to cows or whatever, and maybe some sweet corn that you munch on summer picnics. But that's like the tip of the iceberg. Below that, there's like a giant amount of corn that we've never experienced here, even. That's, if you go back to the roots of corn culture with the Maya people, the grandfather corn farmers, they have such a diversity of varieties. And with different colors, different kernel shapes.
It's kind of like Peru with the potatoes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the center of origin. Yeah. The motherland of corn. So most of these varieties have a particular use to them. My friend that makes masa makes blue masa, white masa, and yellow masa, and she tells me that different nationalities from Central America have their different preferences and different preferences for different dishes, even within their own culture.
So they're like the sommeliers of corn, with all these nuances.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
It's really truly amazing. So for tamales and things like them, the white corn is pretty popular.
But I've seen these blue chips, like
yep.
corn chips, but they're blue. So they're making that with.
So I wonder what would happen if you took these right now and left the hull intact. It's got the color in it.
You might have to do that.
And then dried it and ground it.
Yeah.
Maybe you get
there's
that
another
deep
there's
blue
another
color.
Project.
But there's so many corns, and so my Guatemalan friends have different names for all different kinds of things that we would all call a tamale.
Right.
But it depends on whether it's wrapped in a leaf. There's a green leaf called machan, which gives a certain flavor, and those they call tamales. But if they wrap it in a corn leaf, it's called a chuchito. And then there's even more stuff. I mean, there's so much culturally and agriculturally to corn that we never see unless you know.
Right. So this is like literally the rabbit hole of corn. We are at
I'm all the way down the rabbit hole.
You've gone down that. We can't even see it. Well, I know this is the tip of the iceberg, but this has been really cool. And I think your little puppy's wanting us to end this. But I want to personally thank you for sharing this. And I know there's going to be a lot of people enjoying it. So thanks.
Right on.
All right. Next time we'll do something else with corn. Well, who would have ever thought there was that much to learn about corn? But I'm certainly grateful to Rob Flory for taking us through that whole, not only how to make hominy, but just all the background with the different varieties of corn and what they can be used for. So I hope you enjoyed this. As always, I hope it inspires you to maybe give it a try, and certainly keep following us because we're going to have more great content for you. So Matteo from Homesteading Italian, we'll see you next time. And remember to, if you feel like it, give us a thumbs up, a like, and if you want, write some comments about things you might want to see. It's always good to get feedback. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye-bye.